no balls fall. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Paul Jones Drug Tuesday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. Get into a little bit of the British Open, the pairings, a little bit on the golf course that I've seen already so far. If you like the hard, baked-out, ugly-looking links-style golf course for a British Open, this one is for you. Firm, fast. I say this almost every major that he's in, but Michael Kim is in the field. In every major week that he plays, and it's getting more and more often, like he's in most of the majors now. On Twitter, he's a great follow because he gives you this awesome insight into how the course is playing. He's already said back nine tougher than front nine. I said the front nine, but the front nine gives you choices. Do you want to go the Tiger Woods route that we've seen in the past, where avoid the fairway bunkers at all costs, which means hit irons off the tees and have longer shots into the greens, or challenge the pot bunkers, which are essentially a lot of times a water hazard because you can't advance it very far, and then you're trying to, it's just British Open stuff. But this one, I think he said yesterday he hit a 4-iron like 280 by the time it quit rolling.
Wow.
Yeah, so hard, baked out, fast. This is one of those, the British Opens where there's some green. I've seen some green. Like grass on the course. But this one's going to be a browner British Open with the way that it's baked out. So we can talk about a little bit about that. Got the pairings yesterday. Some interesting pairings. One in particular, I never would have thought we'd seen these three together. And I wonder what that means for one of the guys. I think two of the guys in the group will probably be fine. Another one I'm a little worried about, being with the two guys that he's with on Thursday and Friday. So we got some interesting pairings out there for that. World Cup semifinals today down in Jerry World with the French and the Spaniards. Semifinal number one. And then tomorrow in Atlanta, it is the English and the Argentines. Rematch of the Hand of God goal from Maradona back in 1986.
How impressed you know that? You had to look that up, right?
Oh, no. I'm a little bit more soccer in tune than I want to admit.
That's funny.
Here's a question for the text line. With what we've seen from VAR with Argentina,
yeah,
and I mean everybody thinks that Argentina is FIFA's darling because of Messi. Would VAR even have went back and looked at the Hand of God goal that went clearly off Maradona's arm, or they just went, it's Argentina, let it go? Did you see the one the other day?
No.
The England game?
No.
Where
I watched.
Where they hit the camera. The Switzerland goalie kicked it and hit the hanging down camera.
Oh no!
And England just got it and went and scored.
Oh.
No VAR on that one. Must have been too high. Maybe he hit the VAR camera.
Where was this at? Where did they play that one?
I can't
Kansas
remember.
City?
It might. I can't. It might have been.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, the Switzerland goalkeeper was, it wasn't Switzerland. It was Norway.
The Norway country was mad at that one. I missed.
Did you see the Norwegians over the weekend in the Scottish Open?
No.
There were a bunch of Norwegian fans in the crowd that day on Saturday.
Oh no.
They were doing the row your boat.
Oh, at the
at the golf tournament. Victor. I mean, everywhere Victor went, they were rowing the boat as he went. So that was great.
Damn you people, this is golf. Oh, that's good.
Question on the text line: when they play in Jerry's World, do they use turf or real grass? FIFA made all those stadiums put real grass in.
Real grass.
And I think I said it right when it started. Something the NFL should look at and keep it just.
Yeah, I just think maintenance will be, because all the there's a lot of stadiums. Jerry World, I know it's. Can you open the top? Yeah.
Can't you?
I think you can. You definitely get sunlight in from the sides.
Oh, that's for sure.
But
yeah, great.
I think the maintenance of keeping the grass, because they had to bring in these specialty UV lights.
A couple of places do that anyways.
They do the UV lights thing.
They have real grass inside.
Yeah.
Houston, NRG.
It's in Arizona.
Arizona and Houston. Yeah, they put like squares.
Yeah.
And a lot, back
Arizona's was cool. Isn't it able, they could move it the whole field outside, get some natural sunlight, then bring it in.
Yes.
Yeah, that I agree with you. I think it should be mandated every NFL. Just go to grass for player safety, 100%. But people want to save money. I get it.
Oh, Evan. I bet you the good Lord wishes that he could look through the west side of the windows instead, or the east side of the windows instead of the west on those afternoon games. But it's true. That's how the good Lord gets to watch his team. They open the roof for him.
I tell you that when I saw this thing, because every stadium offers tours that you can go in and get a tour, and somebody went online and bashed the tour of AT&T because they went in. They're like, "There's nothing but dirt on the field." They were preparing it for the World Cup. They were that ignorant they didn't realize one of the biggest soccer tournaments in the world,
the biggest,
is coming to Arlington, and they were just bashing it like it was a dump. How stupid are you?
People are stupid. So we got that.
You don't think the tour guide would have said there would be turf here, but we're preparing for they just forget to hear that part?
Yes. They already made their mind up.
It's a Cowboys hater, and they're like,
they already made their mind up when they saw it. They were mad, and that's just the way it went.
Yeah.
So we got that. Also, I guarantee you March Madness wishes that they could get what the World Cup has gotten what the World Cup has gotten this year. March Madness wishes it would happen every single year. I'll explain that because it's the first time something has ever happened.
Money?
At the World Cup. I think this one's going to be fun for the listeners out there. I got to think last night, my wife and I went for a walk, and then after we went for a walk, we came, checked out the progress on the press box, which, by the way, looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. Cannot wait.
I drove by, it had to have been over a week ago, so I need to go check it out some more. We got walls? We got walls?
The walls are there, and you can start to see how Kara was like, doesn't that look a lot bigger? Because like
I'd hope so.
When we're driving down like from the baseball field, and you can see like the side,
I'm
like, wonder. And then you get around there a little bit further east, pull up to the fence, and you look at it, and you're like, whoa.
I'm going to check it out.
Whoa, look at that. And so then I was telling stories about...
everybody's welcome in except Cash. Sorry, Cash. We're laughing. We can laugh at it.
Hey, some insight on that. Anyway. No, it looks awesome. But I got to tell stories about, my wife was asking, I can't even remember how we got on the topic of Coach Perkins, Cecil Perkins, who I played golf for at Southwestern, then worked for until he basically told me it was time to quit being in college and go do something else. So I was telling stories about it, and then it got me.
Your hair's turning gray. You got to go.
Yeah, it was. Like, I think 25 is a bit much. My coach, it was COVID, right? Don't I get extra years? But anyhow, I got to thinking about that Kelly Litch was in the athletic department as well. And then that got me to thinking about, okay, who are some of the Western Oklahoma star athletes through the years that I wish I could have seen play?
Oh, yeah. I had fun with this.
So I sent you that text last night just to kind of pre-warn you, like, okay, because this is one that if you just, like the listeners are just getting this put on them right now. But who are some of the Western Oklahoma star athletes that you wish you could have seen, either because you were playing, and you know what I'm saying? Like if you were somewhere, they were playing.
At the same time I was in high school, I wasn't able to. Yeah.
Obviously, older athletes would be more the focus, but there are some that you know, if you were playing a sport, they were, all that kind of thing. And so who are some of those that you guys out there, and Jared and I will go through some of them as well, that we wish we could have got to see play, just weren't able to see in Western Oklahoma. And then right off the top, ESPN's been doing these top 10s going in. We hadn't talked NFL at all. Like going into the season, top 10s at their position. They start I've literally seen like guards. Does anybody care about guards? Sweet list.
It's
nobody cares. But yesterday,
they are becoming one of the highest paid non-quarterback positions.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about interior offensive linemen, but yesterday the quarterback list was put out there. So we'll look at their list, and then I ask you and the listener, who are your top 5 going into this season? Just 1 year, okay? For next year, because there would be a little bit different, I think, and then also for the next 5. I can think of one that's going to be way up on my list for next year that would be nowhere to be found on my 5-year list. Age, obviously, is the issue there. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got on tap for the show today. If you want to talk about something else, feel free to chime in at 225-9698 is the text line, 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things or, like I said, whatever else. You got something else on your mind, feel free to chime in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. You can log on to kadsam.com or you can download the app. Paragon app's got it all. It's got radio. It's got the Penny News. Brand new edition of that Penny News will hit the website tonight at midnight. So you can check it out tomorrow at thepennynews.com. And, of course, go pick up a free copy of the Penny News. It'll be out and about tomorrow evening and for sure by Thursday morning everywhere. Big Elk and Paragon TV, speaking of the new press box, not that far away from football season starting. Big Elk and Paragon TV, and of course Skinny on Sports podcast available anywhere podcasts drop. How are you today, Jared Atha?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine. You watched the Derby?
I did.
I did not.
I watched a good chunk of it. I watched a good chunk of it, and I was pleasantly surprised with my understanding of the rules. They made it simpler, which is probably something we should have talked about like yesterday, like what the rules were.
I was trying to find the rules, and I couldn't.
Real simple. They gave you a certain amount of swings each round. I think it changed each round. And that's it.
Then we got to your last
swing. If you hit one over, you get to keep going.
Okay. Which
rarely happened towards the end. But I was entertained. I thought it kind of made it feel like it sped up a little bit. And I was about. I mean, we should have picked a winner. And I about picked one of the Philly guys because it was in their home stadium. And about had that. But I was entertained. I was very entertained.
Jordan Walker of the Cardinals, your winner.
Young dude, keeping out. I mean, Cardinals are kind of playing good this year.
Better than a lot of people thought.
This rebuild has maybe hit the fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, they're an interesting one to see if they'll stay on their path of rebuilding and maybe be a seller to continue to bolster for years ahead, or if they'll decide to change course at the deadline and say, you know what, we're better than we thought. Let's add. That'll be an interesting one to see exactly where they decide, because they've taken a little bit of a step back as we've reached the break, but not so far away that they're not right there. So that'd be one to really, really watch, to see what they decide to be at the deadline. All right, so ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks going into this year. Number 1, they have Josh Allen. Do you have an issue with saying Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL?
Hard to argue against it. I got to wonder about Patrick Mahomes' health and his recovery going into it. So, like, as of right now, I mean, Josh Allen is at, I don't want to say he's peaking, but you'd hope the crescendo of his pro career continues to go up if you're Buffalo, because, you know, they just can't get over that hump, and he's the guy that they need to get him over that hump. So maybe new scenery with the new stadium. I've mentioned that before. I think that's a thing. I really do. You've just kind of seen that. I know across all sports, but I refer to this a lot. When the Rangers built their new stadium, it just changed the mood a little bit. But I think, I got no problem with it going into the season because of what I've said about Mahomes, Lamar Jackson and a new coach. How's that going to work? Joe Burrow's health. So he seems to be a more stable pick at that number 1 spot right now.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I mean, everything he's done on the field. You know, not just don't want to take anything away from him because of what I've just said about the other guys, but what he's doing as a pro is pretty good. So I got no problem with him at 1.
He's the guy that he's probably Mahomes. It's hard to put Mahomes anywhere but 1, but coming off the injury, the obvious offensive line deficiencies that we saw in the Super Bowl against Philly 2 years ago, where he's running for his life and a lot of times couldn't get out alive in that game. And you see this a similar thing with Allen sometimes, but he's just so much bigger and stronger that he I think he is the most unstoppable force in the NFL. Another guy's starting to look a lot like that, but he can't be number 1 yet. But like you watch Caleb Williams and you see a lot of Josh Allen to me in those two guys' games. The difference is Allen seems, and he's 30 versus 24. But Allen seems to be a lot more comfortable just sitting in the pocket and being a quarterback right now as he's progressed down the line than maybe what Caleb is. I think that's right going into the season. If you said, okay, you get to choose, because that's kind of what this is, right? If you get to choose who you want to be your quarterback, I think it would have to choose Josh Allen, knowing what the warts are. And we saw the whole Josh Allen package in that loss to Denver in the playoffs. We saw the incredible play of Josh Allen to have him in the game and have him a chance to win. And we also saw the boneheaded, silly stuff that Josh Allen can do when he tries to do too much. I.e. fumbling right before half. All the things. It was like a microcosm of Josh Allen. And I think he's done – I think he gets – you're always going to get the credit and you're also going to get the grief at the quarterback spot when you lose playoff games no matter what. And until last year in that game against Denver, I think he got too much of the blame when you actually looked at what he did in those games. Even though they didn't win, he was still awesome in the playoffs. Last year, though, I think you can point right at him for the mistakes that he made in that game that didn't allow them to overcome Denver and play to go to the Super Bowl. But I agree. I think he is the best one because Mahomes' knee is hurt, and you just don't know. At 30 years old for Patrick Mahomes, you just don't know how he's going to bounce back. And also, I think Allen has better guys around him that can help him. Running game, obviously, is better in Buffalo than it has been in Kansas City. Offensive line and those things. So I've always been a Mahomes is number 1 until he's not. But going into this season anyway, I think I would have Josh Allen number 1. Who would be your number 2?
Well, I mentioned Lamar Jackson. I'll go with him going into this season. Lamar Jackson, big season for him at Baltimore. Again, new coach. Felt like he kind of had a big say in that. So him making that change and getting the guy maybe he thinks can propel him up a little bit more. I'll go with Lamar Jackson. And I'm making this list largely contingent on health and questions that health, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. There's no disrespect there. I'm just saying I got to, going into this season, those are probably the top two guys, Allen and Jackson, who have accomplished a lot. So they're proven, but with still more to prove, and are 100% healthy. So that's why I have those two guys where I got them.
Yeah, see, that's where I'd put Lamar down a little bit because when he is healthy, when he has been healthy, Baltimore's been as good as anybody. But he just can't seem to stay healthy for an entire year very often. When he does, he's MVP. He wins the MVP. But when he doesn't, you see Baltimore. How many years have we seen Baltimore either start 7-1, he gets dinged up, and next thing you know, they're fighting for their wild card lives and he just doesn't seem quite right. I think for next year only, I would take Matt Stafford number 2. Reigning MVP. That LA Ram team seems to be loaded for one last Super Bowl title run with Stafford at the helm of that offense. And so I think for next year, I would take Stafford number 2 and really thought about putting him number 1 just for 1 year.
That's why I'm at 3.
3. See, I've got Burrow at 3.
Because we're talking 1 year, and he more or less was so dinged up last year. You got to think he is ready to go this year, and we know what he can do healthy on a good team. So yeah, that's where I am at 3.
I've got Burrow 3. Like I said, I just don't know where to put Mahomes because
I don't know what to do with Burrow or Mahomes. Honestly,
I mean
Burrow's injury history.
Burrow and Jackson to me are about the same dude. When they're healthy, they're awesome. But both of them can't seem to get through a whole season healthy. And when they have, like I said, Lamar's MVP, and when Burrow's done it, he took his team to the Super Bowl. With the weapons that he's got around him, they've tried to revamp the offensive line. That they're all sort of, those two are in the same bucket to me. And maybe I should have put Mahomes 3 and then Burrow and Jackson like 4A and 4B to round out the top 5. With those two having chances to absolutely move up if they can stay healthy. So I think we both sort of have the same 5, right? Mm-hmm. In whatever order.
Going into this season? We can't stress that enough. Going into this season, yes.
And I think if we looked 5 years down the line, like when do some of those guys start to fall off of your list if it's 5 years? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they're all 30 or right around 30 with Allen, Burrow, Jackson, and Mahomes. They're all in that 29 or 30. Do you still have, for 5 years, do you still have all 4 of those there? Or do you start to look for some of the younger guys?
I look at the younger guys based of what we've seen from these guys. So that's what we're going to do next.
So
five guys.
So for this year,
we want if we're a franchise that I need a quarterback for the next 5 years. Who do I want?
That's right. So for this year, you would go Allen, Jackson, Stafford, Burrow, Mahomes, Burrow. Okay, I would go Allen, Stafford, Mahomes, and then Burrow, Jackson, the same.
Yeah.
All right, so for the next 5, when do Stafford's clearly falling off for the next 5. He'll be 43 in 5 years, so I don't think he's going to make either one of our lists here. So who do you have those 4 and one other, or are you going to drop a couple of those out and look younger for the next 5?
How about I got a fresh 5?
Oh, really?
Yeah, how about that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ah.
Wow. I do not. I do not have a fresh 5.
I do.
I do not. All right, so who your number 1 guy for the next 5 years?
Drake May.
Okay.
Got his feet wet in the Super Bowl last year. In a solid franchise. Looks like he's going to grow. So I got him. I'd be the number 1 dude I want. How about you?
By the way, the Allen pick here's from the article.
Yeah.
One NFL GM said it. He's the only player in NFL history with 200 passing touchdowns and 50 rushing touchdowns.
Hard to argue against that.
Yeah. And like I said, he's been really good in the playoffs except for that one game last year with some boneheaded mistakes. For me, number 1, I think I would stay with Mahomes.
You like him for 5 more years.
Yeah, he's just 30. That's probably, if we asked this question when this show started, 10 years ago, whatever it was, this answer has probably changed for me just by watching one guy. Just by watching how good Tom Brady continued to be well into his 40s And these guys are just 30.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I think I like Mahomes, even though Allen seems indestructible because of how big and strong he is. I think I would still lean Mahomes for the next 5 years. I get it. He came off the ACL. But he's also seemed to be the guy that, for whatever reason, maybe the way his body is, maybe the way he protects himself when things break down. But it was like pretty shocking to see him get hurt. Even though he's not near as big and strong, he's just always seemed to be slithery enough to avoid taking an absolute pounding. Mm-hmm. Even when his offensive line is good enough. But the one thing, and I think we saw it, he also trusts himself so much in those situations that he did get caught. You know, where he put himself in a vulnerable spot. But I still think I would go Mahomes 1 if we're talking about just 5 years.
So I also played in or considered what the team around these quarterbacks can look like. Travis Kelce, how many years are we going to get him in the next 5 years? Maybe one. Is Reed still going to be there coaching?
Right.
Is he just going to call it quits and retire? All the personnel is what I'm saying. So I kind of considered that too, a little bit. You want me to go number 2? Or number 2? Caleb Williams at Chicago.
See, he's the one that's going to make my list, and I'm trying to decide as we speak whether or not a couple others might.
Now, I debated between my number 2 and my number 3, but I put him at 2.
I think I would still go Allen 2. And then I think I'd have Caleb 3.
Okay. I went Jaden Daniels at 3 over at Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt last year, but had a great rookie year. I mean, almost historically great. And I think he bounces back this year, and he's going to prove Commanders have found their guy, and they're going to build around him. I want that for the next 5 years. Who you got 4?
Probably Drake May.
Okay. I went with your favorite at the time drafted quarterback, Bo Nix.
Oh, my God.
He's proven you wrong, bro. He's proven you wrong. He's doing good. I think that the marriage with him
that's been a huge blessing for him. There's no doubt.
And his coach,
the Sean Payton thing.
Payton and again a good. And you notice a commonality outside of maybe Chicago. These are all good franchise. Washington, I think, is a good franchise. I think
can be.
I think Denver is a good franchise.
Always.
New England, clearly a good franchise. Number 4, Bo Nix. Did you say 4 yet?
No. This is going to make people mad. This has to. Am I really going to put it in 4? Because I look like an idiot. But I do think that we might have finally found the right guy as the head coach for this guy. I think number 4, I put Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, year 1. Looked really good together.
Yeah.
I thought that with Doug Peterson after the Urban Meyer debacle. It didn't work out. But Liam Cohen, we saw him do it with Baker 2 years ago. Now he goes down head coach at Jacksonville last year. And I just I'm going to go down with the Trevor Lawrence ship.
It's not a bad ship to be on.
I'm just going to. I'm going to end up going down with the Trevor Lawrence ship if it goes down. But I would take him number 4.
I don't mind that. At 5 for me, and you mentioned coach, I'm excited what this coach and quarterback pairing will look like, and it's Jackson Dart and Harbaugh together.
I thought about Jackson Dart.
So I liked him even before that happened. I liked Jackson Dart. I thought the Giants, when they started the season, like, you're playing the wrong guy. Mm-hmm. Not for this season, but for your future. You're playing the wrong guy. They finally figured that out about halfway through, but it was too late. And he looked good. So I got him at 5 for my next 5 years.
I like Dart. I like that. I definitely thought about that when I thought about Jaden Daniels. He makes me nervous because his slight build, and he's like Mahomes, except for I don't know if he's as wise I mean, we even saw it in college. He would take shots, like didn't know how to protect himself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That one makes me nervous. At some point, you really think that that Jordan Love would maybe be on this list?
Yeah.
With LaFleur. I mean, that's a really good pairing. But I think I'll stick with Burrow. But Daniels and Jordan Love would definitely be candidates to be on my list moving forward. By the way, it is summer grilling time. You want me to say this out loud, or are you taking control of this?
What?
From the text line.
Oh. Go ahead.
We just had it. We had
Breaking
a text.
news.
Breaking news. Tucker Family Beef has got a half beef open, available for purchase right now. And because you're listening to the Skinny on Sports show, Monty said, a Skinny on Sports listener, if they want the half beef, $50 off to any Skinny on Sports listener. It could be on your grill by the weekend. That means it's getting cut up, ready to go over at Keith's in Burns Flat. Tucker Family Beef.
It's awfully close to Canute.
It is. It's right down the street. Hey, by the way, if you do it, let them carry it out for you. Those boxes crumble pretty easily. I tried to help one time, and we were chasing it to the highway with the little, not really, but
yeah,
just let them do it. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. They know how to grab that box correctly.
I'm getting low. I'm gonna need to. I need to talk to my wife, but we're about to pay for an expensive vacation.
Beef over vacation.
I'm telling you.
So there you go.
We need something to look forward to come home to.
That's exactly right. Tucker Family Beef, a half beef, $50 off to Skinny on Sports listeners. All right, I cannot wait for this next one. Local Western Oklahoma athletes that you didn't get to see for some reason, age, whatever. Who would you have loved to see play in Western Oklahoma on this Paul Jones Drug Tuesday?
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
No.
Welcome back, Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal, hanging out here on a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main. Paul Jones Drug is care you can trust. It's good stuff. Good stuff down there at Paul Jones Drug. Convenience packaging, we talk about it. They conveniently package your daily meds. You don't have to fill up your pill caddy. No. You don't have to do any of that. You're just able to rip open the package. They do it for you. You take your meds. You're on about your day. Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main. Paul Jones Drug is care you can trust. All right, so the question on the table is, and this I can tell you right now, this one might stretch over days. When we get the
longer and longer for me.
When we get the text line rolling. The question is, who are some local Western Oklahoma athletes that you wish you could have seen play? Either because you weren't old enough, maybe even they're like contemporaries of you, but you were doing your thing while they were doing theirs and never crossed paths.
Right.
You know, any reason why, but Western Oklahoma athletes that you wish you could have seen play.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, so I had a few that popped in my mind, and the reason I thought of this was because of working with her in the athletic department at Southwestern. I just wasn't quite old enough to see her play, but Kelly Litch was immediately popped into my mind. She could be the best women's high school basketball player of all time in the state of Oklahoma. You know, if the WNBA would have been a thing back then, she would have been a WNBA player. Awesome at Thomas. Every year we get to the big house, you start looking through the all-time records of state tournament play, all-time scoring list in Oklahoma girls basketball history. She is at the top of a lot of these. categories.
I got some of these numbers right here.
She was unbelievable in college at Southwestern. By the way, before the 3-point line was even out there.
That's right.
And so she thinking about not getting to see her play and knowing her and how great a woman that she is. Kelly Litch was kind of the reason I thought of this question, because I wasn't fortunate enough to see her play, but yeah, the numbers that you've got right there speak for themselves.
Two state titles. That's when they played 6-on-6, but 2 state titles, compiled 77-9 record while at Thomas during her final 3 seasons. I don't know what the rules were. Could freshmen play back then?
I don't
know.
Probably.
But scored over 3,300 career points, actually just shy of 3,400, and still holds the Oklahoma State tournament career scoring average record at 37.6 points per game.
Yeah, think about that. So just to put those for her 3 years, 77-9, almost 3,400 points. We give away stickers for people scoring 1,000 in a career.
That's right.
She was putting up thousands a season.
That's amazing. Amazing.
And then multiple national titles while at Southwestern as well.
Yeah, but at the time, and I don't know if this is NAIA still a thing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All-time leading scorer at the time. Finished her career as the NAIA all-time leading scorer.
I remember back at the turn of the century, the Oklahoman did all these different rankings, and it was Kelly and Crystal Robinson were 1 and 2. I think maybe Kelly was number 1 in the high school ranks, or it was vice versa. One was number 1 in high school, one was number 1 in college, and the other was number 2. But from right here in Thomas, like I said, I would have loved to have seen Kelly Litch play basketball.
Yeah, that's a real good one. I'll stay with basketball. You've probably seen her, but Keitha Dickerson, I never got to see her play. Not that I can remember, but went on to Texas Tech, did go to the WNBA, and had a nice solid career there. Is into coaching now, right? Or
she's
she's
the AD.
That's right. I
think last year was her last year to coach.
I think so. Mm-hmm. But widely and unarguably considered one of the best girls basketball player to come out of Elk City ever. And that's saying something. I'm part of the 95 state champ team. That was her junior year, right?
Yeah, 4 straight state tournaments. They lost in the finals her freshman year in triple overtime to Prague. Lost in the semis to Bing. That was the last year of 6-on-6 in 94. Won the first 95, the first 5-on-5, and then runner-up her senior year, because Athena McCoy from Sallisaw scored about 40.
Yeah, on the text line, Monty Ferris, I wrote him down.
Me too.
Out of Leedy.
I probably did see him play at some point as a little guy, but don't remember it.
Right.
Up there at Leedy. That's definitely one on my list.
Like Keitha, I'm sure I've been to a Clinton Elk City basketball game, but I'm a second, third, fourth grader probably running around the dome not even paying attention.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I wish that's what really this list is about, is knowing what we're seeing
right.
and watching it and enjoying it. Yeah, Monty is on there. He actually gave me some lessons in high school. I remember that fondly. Great guy, and I'm glad he did, because I was barely able to hit, maybe because of him. But what he did, of course, at Leedy, OSU, and went on to the pros. I have a Monty Ferris Texas Rangers baseball card right now. So that's very cool from Leedy. Who else you got?
I've got Larry Elliott, who was on my Mount Rushmore of Elk City athletics back in the day. At the time, he was the all-time leading punt returner in OSU history. Here, he was just awesome. So I've got Larry Elliott.
That's a good one. The text line. Valerie, his sister, was good too.
Oh yeah, Valerie Ferris was a very good
basketball player.
Yeah. She won a couple of national titles at Southwestern as well.
Yeah, she coached over Clinton for a little bit. Yeah, very, very good. Speaking of Clinton, I'm going way back, but you don't go to Clinton without hearing about the Bell brothers.
I've got them on my list.
Roy Bell, great football player. Carlos, football and basketball. They're both good. The only reason they have state championships in basketball in 67 and 65 and 67, their only 2 boys state championships in basketball, was because of them. and I'm sure there's others, but those guys are multi-sport athletes, but football, obviously in Clinton, big time, and Roy Bell went on to play at OU, and then chose to go to the Canadian Football League because I think at the time it made him more money, and had a career from 72 to 76 playing in the Canadian Football League, but rushed for more than 6,000 career yards in high school. Part of the team that was voted the national championship team in 1967, obviously a state championship team, played at OU from 68 to 71. And those Bell brothers are legends over in Clinton. Roy Bell at the top of that list at Clinton, and probably still considered the best running back to come out of Clinton. And that's saying something between late 60s up to now.
By the way, Larry Elliott also played baseball at OSU.
Oh, no! By
along
the way,
with all the rest of it.
Who else you got?
Hang on, I'm getting some different. Let's see. You said the Bell brothers. They were definitely on my list. Trying to think. Like I was really trying to think of like what somebody. I remember seeing the Minor brothers.
See, I didn't
play.
Not in high school. I obviously seen them at Norman, but I never saw them in high school, and so I wrote them down. Would have been cool to see them in high school together. Yeah,
it was no matter what they were doing, baseball or basketball, they were unbelievable at both. And watching those,
they get 2 basketball titles while they're there, 90 and 92.
I think that's right. Yeah, they skipped one in there, but yeah, they were. I mean, I'm sure for you younger ones that never got to see them play, that would be way up on the list. Yeah, here you go. Monty Ferris, American Legion. He started at shortstop at 13. I mean, I knew that he would get
20 too. He probably looked
with a bunch of the excuse me, a bunch of the guys that we know that text and their ages.
Yeah, I
had a feeling that as soon as we said Monty Ferris, we would have memories from some of these guys that played against him.
Yeah.
And, we're a part of him being as awesome as what he was. Like I said, I guarantee you I saw him play with my grandpa up at Leedy. I just don't remember it. I remember at OSU a little bit in the College World Series or whatever, but I don't really remember watching him play at Leedy.
So now we're getting into the territory, for me anyways, of guys that are still fairly young or about our age, but we just didn't see him because we were off doing our own thing. And guy that graduated a year ahead of me, but I never got to see him play, was Jacob Mayfield.
I watched Jake.
Over at Eric. I never got to see him play, and got that title in 2001, right, for Eric Sweetwater at the time. 2,470 career points, and still among one of the top scorers in Oklahoma high school history. And, of course, now he's on winning titles over at Calumet.
Yeah, he was so when I was at Southwestern playing golf, one of our duties was to be – it seemed like we always had either a regional or an area or both from week to week or what have you. But we were always – the golf team was part of taking tickets or, whatever needed to be done to kind of administrate those tournaments back then. And I will never forget the area finals his senior year was the most madhouse Rankin-Williams field house I'd ever seen because there were so many people wanting to come watch that we literally quit selling tickets. And, that was the boys' game after the girls' game, so there were some folks within our listening area that I'm sure are still 25 years later upset because they may not have got in the gym that night. And I just happened to be sitting closest to the ticket office on the Eric side and having to try to explain as a 19 or 20-year-old kid, you don't have a ticket. You can't stand there and watch from out. You know what I mean? You can't look through the doors and watch. You're not even supposed to really be in the lobby area because you don't have a ticket. And finally, a couple of people, I was like, you know what? Just go. I'm tired of fighting with you. I can obviously see your seat saved down the way a little bit.
Yeah.
Just go. I'm tired of dealing with it. Yeah, that was wild. And I think that's...
And it was that moment Southwestern thought, we need to
build a new... Yeah.
We need a bigger venue.
It was right then the Pioneer Cellular Event
We need
Center
to get that ball rolling.
became
start
a
raising
thing.
the money for this.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, there's so many, like from right here, another guy that went on to huge things that I'm sure I saw, but as like a Grandview student or maybe even an elementary school student, can't remember exactly how old he is, but I'm sure I saw him pole vault. But Jeff Bray, a guy that went to Florida State, was almost an Olympian. I mean, Andy, you can probably text me to make sure I'm right about that. But like he was kind of, I mean, there for, thinking back to our Mount Rushmore during COVID times, I had Coach Hurd on the Mount Rushmore as a coach because of what he was able to, mainly pole vaulting. I mean, I read, what was it, like 13 or 15 years in a row that Elk City won the pole vaulting state title in the 4A track meet. And a lot of times might have even been first, second, and third through those years. And he was like the first one. Like I remember him and then Jarrett Hurd and then all the way down through. All those guys, the Landreth boys that pole vaulted, and so many more that it's hard to remember. But Jeff Bray was one that, with what he was able to do in high school and then go on to college, and just an unbelievable pole vaulter. Like I said, I'm sure I saw him jump, but I do not remember it.
I put down Jordy Mercer.
Yeah.
Over at Tologa. Again, younger guy, but I was not fortunate enough to see him. So went on to play for the Pirate. Well, OSU, obviously. Then drafted and had a stint with the Pirates. So I put him down.
Here's one on the text line. It's right on the edge. And I think this goes to another one we saw on the text line earlier. Are we considering Johnny Bench, Western Oklahoma? Close enough. Yeah, that'd have been awesome to see him play.
You think?
And then somebody said the Willits boys.
Yep. Well, I've seen Jackson.
Yeah, I've seen them both play.
At the time,
I've seen them both play basketball.
Yeah.
I remember Eli as a freshman making some huge plays down the stretch against maybe Calumet. Actually, speaking of Jake, to be able to hold on and win that title.
Yeah. I had one more on. Younger than us, way younger than us. Never got to see him play. But right down the road in Sayre, Taylor Varnell. Went on, became a great pitcher. What started at Western, went to ORU, got drafted into the White Sox organization. And I always heard about, there's this kid in Sayre, good pitcher. Need to check him out. Never had the opportunity. I think that's my list. I'm sure there's more I'm missing.
I just reading the text line, see if there's some that are mentioned that we haven't. Yeah, there you go. Saw Bench in MLB, but love to see him when he played in Ackley. I mean, that would be an unbelievable list to think about all the guys that have come through.
Played at Ackley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the summers. And I mean, for one, we mentioned his name earlier, but for one magical run, watching Monty Tucker and the Sweetwater boys make it to the state tournament.
Of course. I mean, that should have gone without saying. Right? We don't need to.
Seeing those guys. I just thought of one that I never I might have seen play once or twice, but never really got to see because of what we were doing at the time, was Wes Pyatt up in Raiden. They call him Little Country because it was like the Big Country times.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I never really got to see him play. Oh, there's one you got a bunch of. A younger guy. You got to see Matt Yost play a bunch.
He was an 02 grad, wasn't he?
I think that's right.
Yeah, we went up. We, as Clinton Red Tornadoes, played him a lot. and one was too many times. That kid could hit. He could hit. To the point, I know I've said this story over and over again, in the playoffs, in our, I forget the format, I might have been considered area back then. It was right here in Ackley. To the point we stopped pitching to him. We wound up losing like 2-1. We're like, the rest of that team can beat us, but he's not going to beat us. We'll put him on every time. If there's an open base, we put him on.
Yeah, in those days, the west side of the roof of Great Plains National Bank, it was like baseball-sized hail every now and again.
Yeah. He could definitely take it out dead center, and that was out without the now that they've shortened center field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got one for Jimmy Elliott. I mentioned Larry, but Jimmy Elliott, quarterback at OSU, starting quarterback in 1960. Beat Nebraska in Lincoln back in the 60s.
Not a lot of people can say they've done that.
Dylan Sotile was telling me about having to guard Wes Pyatt back in the day. I'm going to guess it didn't go well for Sotile.
Probably.
It might have. You never know. He's wiry, as they say. And then one more, an honorable mention. Same time, but just different places. Just because of what I hear at family gatherings.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen my wife play basketball.
I'm sure she was pretty good.
I'm pretty sure she was tough.
Right.
I think I'm getting to watch my wife play basketball, just not as tough a version with Compton, because he won't shoot. I guess she wouldn't shoot either. She tells a story, and this is somebody that's legendary in Western Oklahoma, having to guard Julie Dawson.
Oh, yeah?
You know Julie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she tells me a story about having to guard her. I don't know how great it went, but Julie was awesome, but I got to see her play. Oh, another shout-out for wives. Taylor Peffer, 11 All-Americans. She's the girls' track coach with Andy. It's Andy's wife.
Okay.
At OBU. Who are some that you got to see? Oh, God, we're going to have to hurry up. We still got a whole nother break to take.
Oh, man.
I'm not just saying this because of it's Paul Jones Drug Tuesday, but watching Rodney, and I just marveled at Rodney. He never practiced golf. He always, if he was there to practice, it was baseball. And then he'd go to these golf tournaments and beat me, and then go play, and then he would go and be, the baseball guy. He was an unbelievable athlete.
Yeah, four-sport athlete. Played football, basketball, baseball, and golf, like you mentioned. And he had a pretty long ball. Deep ball, throwing the football. Yeah, he's a guy I got to see personally. I mean, a lot of these are going to be Clinton guys because growing up in Clinton, I got to see all these guys. Trent Smith, seeing him play.
Oh, yeah.
He was a man among boys out there. He was a head taller than everybody. He made whoever the quarterback was life a lot easier. I mean, he just run the seam route right down the middle and just throw it up to him, and he'd catch it in stride and go score.
All right, let's see. J.R. Leaper, is that who you're talking about, Jared? Jared Cudd was a stud.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Junior Leaper? J.R.? One of those two over there at Sentinel back in those days. There's been a lot of them, man. All through the years. There's been a ton of them that have been cool to see or for different reasons. Like I said,
we've seen a lot. I mean, we could go on and on, but we've covering as many state tournaments as we've had. We've seen a lot of great athletes in the big house from Western Oklahoma. It's too many to mention.
All right, when we come back, we'll wrap it up. Skinny on Sports on a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back. Wrapping up a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Skinny on Sports, hanging out here in studio. Yeah, a team I thought about putting on there, and just got a text about one of those guys' dad. But those early '80s Hammond Warriors with Morton, Mike Higgins, that group.
Oh yeah,
had to have been fun to watch. For ones that people did see play, Cade and Matt. If you're from Elk City, you know who I'm talking about when I say Cade and Matt. Cade Davis and Matt Jones.
Oh yeah,
on the hoops floor. Yep. Marsh is one that if people saw, was absolutely ridiculous. Charlie, same way, just ridiculous what they could do there, athletically for sure. Yeah, and then on the track side of it. I mean, Josh Landreth, who graduated with me, so I got to see him do all kinds of things. His 400-meter state track meet record, I think he set it when he was a junior, actually, just was broken this year.
Oh, wow.
It had stood since 1998. And it was just broken this year.
It's one thing breaking records. It's another thing to see how long they last.
Yes. And that one had lasted all those years. Yeah, went to run track at Arkansas, which at the time was the place to go, and things didn't go great. Like stress fracture in his foot early on, and just kind of. And now he's retired at the age of 45 after owning a landscape lawn business in northwest Arkansas. And now what he does is he rides around his kayak and fishes. Does whatever he wants is what he does.
That's what retirement's about.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, another
He's also the
conversation.
smartest guy in our class, so he had about all of it.
You mentioned another conversation or a discussion we can have is teams we didn't get to see.
Yeah, teams.
You know, there's a lot of teams as a whole, like, I wish I'd seen them play.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
which has to be a harder list because we've seen a lot of teams, but maybe back in the day, you know, I mentioned that 67 Red Tornado football team, considered the best in the nation. That would have been fun to see.
Yeah, there's some Cheyenne girls teams from back in the day.
Yep.
You know, a guy that cannot believe I didn't write down because my uncle played with him in high school, and I've heard about how ridiculous he was on the football field for Elk City, but Billy Lynn. Billy Lynn is like Marcus Dupree to me.
Yeah?
Until we got to see the 30 for 30. Like my dad would always tell me, you know, it'd be all these great running backs from OU and be like, yeah, okay, that guy's good, but you should have seen Marcus Dupree. And then you see the old videos and watch it, and you're like, oh my gosh. See, that's like Billy Lynn from back in the 70s for the Big Elks. They were so close to winning state titles, just couldn't quite get it done. But he's another one that was like, oh yeah, I've heard of his lore with Billy Lynn.
Very cool.
Oh, we have one for Cade Sanford's mom. I know who she is. I don't know her name either. God, I can see her in my mind right now. She's a sweet lady that comes to the baseball games all the time when we were growing up. Anybody else just off the top of your mind?
This is something that's going to be in my mind all day now.
Yeah, we might.
I'm going to keep thinking of, I wish I'd seen them. I wish I'd seen her. I wish I'd seen him.
There's been a lot. Like on teams, like we just got Ceiling girls. Which ones? You know,
yeah.
I mean, but I'm probably thinking Gore twins would be my guess.
Seen them.
But, you know, as far as all-time team, I mean, there's that they would have to be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, of course, the arguments will immediately break out of, I just had one, the Elks of 98 versus Woody's Eagles of 1992. I always think, for me, just in our time and who we saw, I always think of the 98 Elks against the 96 Red Tornadoes.
There's always been an internal conversation in Clinton, like what Clinton team could beat what Clinton team.
Right.
That's a good one right there.
I mean, for me,
we should come up with a bracket.
For me, the 96 Clinton team, when we played over there, they played here in the regular season. Kids, back then, a helicopter landed on the practice field carrying Bob Berry Jr. because it was like the game. And I'll never forget, like, I don't even know what they were telling the fans to yell across the field at each other. They had like a sign, and one of them would yell whatever it was. And even in the field house, I mean, you could hear it. Like, the anticipation for that game was so high. And Clinton whipped us. And then played over there in the quarterfinals. They whipped us again. That team but we weren't ready. It was sophomores versus, juniors and seniors. So if you could have all been the same age, what would have happened? I think that would have been awesome. Jason Crawford, I remember him as a running back. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, 7. Well, the question was how many shutouts that 96 team had. 7 of them.
For who?
Clinton's defense.
Could have.
Shut out 7.
Twice us.
1, yeah.
I can tell you that. 24 zip and 35 zip, I think, were the scores.
That was the thing about Mike Lee's team. You always thought about the I formation, pitch sweep left, pitch sweep right. Creep up a little bit too much, he'll throw it over the top on you. But his defenses were good, too.
Yeah. Well, that's like here in 98. Everybody thinks about Marsh and De La Rosa and Jay and all that. Good luck scoring. I'll go look at that. We have a ball that was signed for the radio station downstairs. I'll go look and tell you exactly how many shutouts there were. There weren't very many points and 2 of them were Clinton. I can tell you that too for sure. Here's one from the past. Jody Fisher from Cheyenne. I've always heard about how good she was.
Yeah.
In basketball. Yeah, I'm telling you, we can roll this topic basically every day.
Yeah.
And it gets a lot of stuff. We better get out of here. We're going to miss the whole first break in the next show.
I knew when you text that last night, this is going to take a while. This is going to engage a lot of listeners.
No doubt. And maybe what I do while you're gone.
Well, that's all right.
Zero prep. Everybody fire your best athletes at me. Everybody have a great Paul Jones Drug Tuesday.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered around.